Hey everyone, Daryl Staley here with SEK CPAs and Advisors. I'm a tax manager in the firm's York office. And as most of us know, we recently received word that the government is providing a second round of PPP loans. Banks are beginning to accept those applications. So we just wanted to take 5 minutes of your time, hopefully educate you on the process, let you know what we know, and hopefully make for a smoother application process. Ensuring that you submit an application timely, ensuring you submit an accurate application, trying to get that PPP money into your hands as soon as possible so you can continue operating your business. The first thing would be who qualifies for PPP Round 2, and you must be a business with 300 or fewer employees, and you must have a need for the money based on the current economic uncertainty. The third thing, which is new to PPP number 2, is that you must have experienced a 25% reduction or more in your gross receipts when comparing any quarter of 2020 to that same quarter in 2019. For example, you look at your 2020 Q3 gross receipts, gross revenues, and you compare them to the gross revenues of Q3 in 2019. And if you've experienced a 25% or more reduction in those gross receipts, and you meet all these other criteria, then you are eligible for PPP number 2. The fourth, and what I'll say is the final qualification for the PPP loan application, is that you must have received PPP number 1, and you must have spent or intend to spend all of your PPP number 1 dollars before receiving PPP number 2. My understanding is these PPP number 2 applications will be available or will be accepted up until the end of March of 2021. And now let's talk about how much can or will you receive if you do qualify. Very similar to PPP number 1, you're eligible for a PPP loan that is equal to 2.5 times your average monthly payroll. You can use your 2019 or your 2020 payroll wages figures to determine your average monthly payroll. And actually, something new this time around is if you have an NAICS code beginning with 72, those are typically your restaurants and your hotels, you can actually receive 3.5 times your average monthly payroll. So a little bit of additional assistance for the businesses in that industry. Now, one thing to be aware of is your loan size cannot exceed $2 million. So essentially, you're going to receive the lesser of 2.5 times or 3.5 times your average monthly payroll, or $2 million. There are some limitations on wages. Each employee is limited to $100,000. So just keep those things in mind. This is the same as PPP number 1. So do keep that in mind when you're applying for this round of PPP. As far as what costs are eligible for forgiveness, many of the same costs that we saw in PPP number 1 are again eligible for forgiveness this time around. That includes payroll, utilities, your mortgage interest, and your rent. Please know that the 60% rule on payroll still does apply, which simply means of all of your forgivable costs, 60% of that number has to be payroll. And again, similar to PPP loan number 1, you have 24 weeks from the time you receive the loan to spend your money on these costs, and in which case they will be forgiven and you won't have to pay the PPP loan back. This time around, there are a few additional costs that are eligible for forgiveness, and those costs I have here, they include operation expenditures, property damage costs, supplier costs, and work protection costs. So quickly to summarize, operation expenditures are expenses that you incur on business software, cloud computing software, things of that nature. Property damage costs would be costs that you incurred to repair your business property that would have been damaged due to riots or looting and was not covered by insurance. We have the supplier costs. Simply put, these are what we would classify as our cost of goods sold. And then lastly, the work protection costs. These are costs to facilitate or adhere to the guidelines and regulations put forth by the Department of Health, OSHA, and the CDC. So the costs you're incurring to keep your employees and your customers safe. Now, if you get a PPP loan and your costs, those eligible costs, do not exceed the amount of your PPP loan, well, the amount that is not forgiven simply turns into a loan, a 5-year loan at a 1% interest rate. There's no collateral, there's no personal guarantees on that loan. So simply, if you are not able to spend all of your PPP money, you then have a 5-year loan at 1% interest. One more item to just kind of discuss, put out there before I sign off. If you did not receive PPP loan number 1, you are still eligible to apply for the second round, the second wave of funding. You simply are going to adhere or be required to follow the rules of PPP number 1, which in a lot of respects are very similar to what I discussed, what I shared. You just won't have to meet the 25% reduction in gross receipts. So if for whatever reason you missed the first round of PPP or circumstances have changed to where you find a greater need for it now, make sure you are applying. And if you have any questions with your PPP applications, be sure to reach out to your bank. Be sure to reach out to your accountant, your CPA. Hopefully that individual is here at SEK. And if not, if you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We're here to help you navigate, answer the challenging questions. What we want more than anything is to see our businesses and our local communities make it out to their side of this. So we'll do everything in our power we can to help you guys get these PPP loans, get the government assistance you need. Again, have any questions, contact myself, Daryl here at SEK, or anyone really at SEK. Thanks. Have a good one.